Okay, everybody, this is part 2 of the planting of these plants I just bought. So I wanted to start by kind of laying out where I intend to plant them and maybe some things to think about. I'm also had an idea. I've been wanting to get some leftover substrate that comes to the surface of the sand here. This is an old gravel substrate. And I got the idea that, hey, you know, simple tools can help you do the trick. And this kitchen spoon, I intend to just kind of scoop this out and then sift away the sand and just leaving the rock. And I think that'll be a lot quicker and to kind of get rid of some of that ugliness. And so if I don't know if you guys have a better idea than that, but I thought I was pretty clever. So we'll give that a shot. I intend on putting my crypts kind of on the front here, the foreground, and I think I'm going to target the Rotala in the corner there where that tetra is, right beside the Aponogeton. And then the Wysteria, I'm going to poke kind of just in center screen right there in the back. Both both plants will grow to a tall background length, so and of equal. So you know, it's just a matter of picking which one on which side. I guess the books are saying 20 inches is their top height, so it'll just be a matter of keeping them trimmed, and they'll get bushy. And so yeah, that'll be what I do here in the next few minutes. Okay, so I've been prepping the site in the foreground here and doing the little scooping. It's like a kitty litter. It's kind of funny. I found a lot more gravel coming up to the surface that I'll try to clean up later. But I found that when I tried to plant this, that the rock wool is very deep. And because it's a foreground and my substrate is relatively shallow in the front, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut just about maybe half an inch from the bottom of this rock wool. Just cut it down. That way, when I sink it in, I can actually get it below the substrate so it doesn't poke out and looks cleaner. I found that in other plantings I've done with rock wool, it comes up, it looks kind of garish, unnatural. So I'm going to give that a shot this time and see how it works. Okay, so I've got the crypts planted. Sorry about the glare with the lighting. On the leftmost planting, that's the one in the rock wool. You can't tell right now which is the difference. I'm going to take this sandscaping tool to kind of smooth things around and clean it up a little bit, and then I'm going to go and prep the sites for the other plantings. I took the moss ball out, and you can see how much rock I got out of there with my little tool. Yeah, we'll get those others planted here real quick. So here's a quick tip I've found when I'm planting cuttings, such as this Rotala. So, you know, there's nothing really to grip it in the substrate, right? So it's just a clean trimming. So when I was pushing them down into the substrate, it would come right back up with my fingers. So what I found works the best is by putting my finger kind of at the very end, just like this, and using my finger to drive down into the substrate, and then lifting the finger up, and then using that finger to kind of stir it and allow the substrate to kind of close in around it like you're packing it in. So you just kind of insert it like a stinger or a pilot screw, and allow that thing to come down with it, extract it, and then just kind of push it around. That seemed to be the best way to get these planting in place. So as you can see, I'm just kind of getting it in there. When I get it properly set up and lit, I'll probably see where I need to make adjustments. It's kind of hard when I'm working back there, but so far it seems to be going all right. All right, I think we're all square and having it got it all done. So here's the final thing for the crypts. Looking pretty good, nice and clean, and I got a root tab right in the middle there, so hopefully it'll get some root action real quick and let them get solidly in there and gripping the substrate. Same thing with the Rotala, however you say it. Maybe get a good angle there. So they're just going to shove right down on the substrate. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of energy right now trying to straighten out how they look, you know, maybe clean up how they're leaning and all that. Obviously, when the stalks are shoved straight into the substrate like that, there's no real stability down there. So I find, I was thinking that anytime I tried to disturb that, they'd probably get loosened up and I'd need to replant them anyway. So I'm going to let them establish first. I do have a root tab down there. And then the wisteria, not very tall at this point, but they do grow tall. I moved this, I think that's an Amazon sword, and it was doing awesome. I didn't realize that it was very well hidden behind the lily here. So I actually moved it. That's all new leaf, new growth from its ribosome, and so I moved it into the center there, moved the Anubia to the right a little bit to make room for the wisteria there. So that should just shoot right up and provide a great contrast against the lily. Really excited about that. And here's my mystery guest. I figured, well, I'll just throw it in the corner, see what happens. It could be tall, it could be short. We'll just see if that takes off. So everything's looking pretty good. Let things settle out and see how it goes over the next few days. And we'll provide updates, of course. If you have any questions or comments or even suggestions on how I can do things better, I would really like to hear it. Please subscribe, and we'll talk to you later, YouTube.